Before Gianni Infantino became the president of FIFA, he nearly lost his job at UEFA. Not because of the Swiss criminal investigation, not because of the secret meetings with the Attorney General, because of something that happened inside UEFA's own headquarters in Nyon, something that caused colleagues to march to the UEFA president's office and say 4 words: "You have to sack him." That UEFA president was Michel Platini. He did not sack him. He gave Infantino an ultimatum instead. Infantino survived, and 2 years later, he became FIFA president, where he immediately dismantled the independent ethics structures that could have investigated exactly what happened at UEFA. That sequence is not a coincidence. It is a pattern. And The Telegraph published the full details of it this morning. Infantino joined UEFA in 2000. He rose through the legal department, became Deputy Secretary General, and was appointed Secretary General in 2009. He was, by every institutional measure, a successful administrator. He oversaw a team of over 400 people. He managed UEFA's commercial relationships. He had a clear pathway to the top of world football. And then, at some point during his tenure as Secretary General, he began an alleged relationship with a junior female employee of UEFA who held an administrative role. According to The Telegraph's investigation, which UEFA has partially confirmed, Infantino promoted the woman to a management position during the alleged relationship. Her salary rose by approximately 30% to 160,000 Swiss francs per year, the equivalent of over 170,000 euros annually. The promotion surprised several colleagues, according to sources cited by the newspaper, and the tension inside UEFA's headquarters in Nyon became significant enough that people who worked there went to Michel Platini and told him directly what they believed was happening. People within UEFA said to Platini, "You have to sack him," a source told The Telegraph. He made a big mistake that nearly cost him his career, but the reason it didn't cost him his career is where the story gets complicated and where the governance failure begins. Platini confronted Infantino about the alleged relationship. According to The Telegraph sources, Platini gave Infantino an ultimatum. Either he leaves UEFA or the woman does. The woman left. She received a 6-figure departure payment from UEFA. UEFA also funded her MBA at a local business school, with annual fees of approximately £45,000 per year. Infantino used his connections to help her secure what sources described as a lucrative new job in a similar field. UEFA confirmed to The Telegraph that a departure payment was made and that the MBA fees were covered, describing both as permitted under the regulations governing staff departures at the time. UEFA spokesperson added that the organization's regulations have since been tightened to reflect modern standards. That tightening happened after 2016. The events in question happened before 2016. Infantino left UEFA in February 2016 to become FIFA president. He denies the allegations entirely. FIFA's spokesperson called them categorically untrue and defamatory. But UEFA's confirmation of the payment and the fact that Platini himself confronted Infantino about the situation establishes that something significant enough to require institutional management happened inside UEFA before Infantino left. And what happened immediately after he arrived at FIFA is the part that connects this story to everything else. Within 80 days of becoming FIFA president, Infantino passed a resolution giving his own council the power to fire the independent ethics investigators. Colonel Borbley, who ran the investigatory chamber, only found out when the resolution appeared on the Congress screens. Domenico Scala, the independent audit chairman, resigned in protest the following day. A year later, Borbley and Hans-Joachim Eckert, the 2 people who had investigated and sanctioned Blatter and Platini, were removed. The ethics committee that could have examined conduct from Infantino's UEFA years, the same committee empowered to investigate the president himself, was restructured in his first year in office. This is the connection that makes the Telegraph story relevant beyond the personal allegation. Not whether the relationship happened, Infantino denies it, but whether the man who arrived at FIFA promising to fix its corruption had his own institutional vulnerability, and whether the dismantling of FIFA's ethics structures in his first year was connected to that vulnerability. A properly functioning ethics committee with independent investigators has the mandate to examine a president's conduct at previous organizations. That committee no longer exists in its independent form because Infantino changed it. The timing, arriving at FIFA in February 2016, restructuring the ethics committee by May 2016, is now being viewed through a different lens. There is a secondary element to this story that has received less attention than the payment itself. Michel Platini, the man who confronted Infantino and gave him the ultimatum, was himself banned from football by FIFA's ethics committee in 2015 over a $2 million payment from Sepp Blatter. Platini was the favorite to succeed Blatter before his ban made him ineligible. The ban cleared the path for Infantino's candidacy. And the man who had the most detailed knowledge of what happened inside UEFA's headquarters, the man who had confronted Infantino directly, was serving a ban from football when Infantino won the FIFA presidency. He could not stand against him. He could not campaign against him. He could not use his institutional knowledge of what had happened at UEFA to challenge Infantino's fitness for office. The sequence of events that put Infantino in the FIFA presidency, Blatter's corruption scandal, Platini's ban, Infantino's candidacy, removed from the picture the one person with direct knowledge of what the Telegraph is now reporting. Whether that is coincidence or consequence is a question the investigation does not answer, but it is a question the congressional investigation, the Swiss criminal proceedings, and UEFA's legal letter have now made impossible to ignore. Mexico and Argentina publicly backed Infantino this week despite everything. Their support illustrates the political reality that has protected him throughout his presidency. Both nations hosted 2026 World Cup matches and received significant commercial benefit from FIFA's distribution model. Their backing is not surprising. It is the system working exactly as Infantino designed it. Distribute enough money to enough associations, and the majority of 211 votes remain with you, regardless of what independent investigators, congressional subpoenas, or newspaper investigations produce. That is the architecture he built. And the Telegraph's investigation this morning adds a new dimension to the question of why he built it that way. Infantino has told those close to him he has no intention of stepping down. The congressional deadline, Congressman Raskin's requirement for FIFA to produce documents about the Trump relationship, expires tomorrow, August 9th. UEFA's legal letter naming 18 FIFA executives as potential evidence holders remains active. The Swiss criminal investigation is still running, and now the Telegraph has published an investigation, partially confirmed by UEFA itself, describing events at UEFA headquarters that colleagues considered serious enough to demand he be fired, that Platini considered serious enough to personally intervene, and that resulted in a six-figure payment from a European football governing body. Infantino denies all of it. UEFA says the payment was legitimate under the regulations of the time. The woman has not spoken publicly. No formal complaint was ever filed. No legal finding has been made. These are the facts as they stand, sitting on top of every other investigation, every other legal letter, every other congressional demand that is now pointed at the same man. The question this channel's audience has been asking for 2 weeks is always the same. How does someone like this stay in power? The answer is the same every time you look at it from a new angle. He stays because he controls the money that flows to the associations that vote for him. He stays because the ethics structures that could investigate him were changed in his first year. He stays because the one person who knew the most about his conduct before FIFA became ineligible before Infantino was even elected. And he stays because 211 member associations deciding his future includes 54 in Africa and 47 in Asia, whose development budgets come from the same office asking them to vote. Tomorrow is August 9th. The congressional deadline passes. Whatever FIFA produces or refuses to produce will be the next chapter. Subscribe. This channel covers it the moment it happens.